Hello, welcome to Souls Intersect. This reading is for Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Rising signs, and it is for the month of June 2017. If you're interested in a private reading with me, feel free to email me at soulsintersect@gmail.com for more information, or you can read about it on my site. The address to my site is below. I go into quite a bit of detail about my approach, which is different from many readers. I'm an intuitive reader, and the central part of my readings is what I'm receiving intuitively. I use the cards more to frame my readings. So there's a description of how that works on my site, and there's also a description about my past life readings, which are non-tarot readings, and I've reduced the price for those to $35. Okay, so I'm going to read through the cards, and then I will tune in. So from the top, you have the King of Cups, the Five of Cups, and the Four of Cups. In the center, the Six of Wands, the Three of Wands, and the Page of Swords. And on the bottom, Strength, the Five of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles. Okay, so there are some tricky cards with the two fives and then that four. Maybe this page also, but I feel that this Three of Wands in the center provides a really strong foundation. I feel that at the heart of this, something is building and coming through for you despite maybe some obstacles recently. With the top row being all cups, I do sense that there may have been some emotional turmoil or maybe some slight depression in some of you recently. I think I've gotten for some of you that there's been a birth or pregnancy, so it could be related to some hormonal things as well. I do feel that there's a figure in your life helping with that, and I think you may have had the King of Cups recently. It doesn't have to be male. It doesn't have to be a water sign, but it could. I just feel like there's someone there helping balance emotions. It could be a partner, or it could be a close friend, or a mentor of some kind, or even a therapist. Okay. So definitely some things going on the emotional level. I also feel like maybe there may have been some sort of loss financially, or it's feeling more like a lack of structure for most of you. So it could have been a lack of structure caused by a job loss or maybe some kind of financial loss, but it feels more like it has to do with like structure of your life. Maybe a schedule has shifted, something has been more unstable, maybe related to work or maybe related to home. And I feel like that's something that's helping you build up some resistance to that sort of thing. I feel like it came through, maybe it was kind of unexpected, but I feel like it came through to help you build up some sort of resistance, and that you're on your way to becoming this King of Pentacles, which is in your sign and in your element, to be more grounded. So it's working with this, the Strength card is working with this Five of Pentacles to help you get back on your feet, essentially, especially if it's very literal. But if it just feels like a lack of structure lately, more just developing a resilience to that and helping you to become more grounded. Okay. The Six of Wands and the Three of Wands are playing off of each other in an interesting way. I feel like there was something that you thought was going a certain way. Both are very positive. They both represent building. With the Page of Swords, I feel like there's some kind of flaw in thinking. It feels like it's something that happened in the past, and it could have led to some of this emotional pain or turmoil, but it could have been a misstep, a misjudgment, a miscalculation, or something just didn't happen the way you thought it would happen. This also could be related to this Five of Pentacles. And it looks like it's somehow less than what you thought it was going to be, but it actually will in some way become what you thought it was. It just might take a different shape. So I feel like it's not as negative as maybe it's being perceived right now. And again, this refers to something that didn't go as planned, might have been sudden, and you might feel like it was your own mistake or your own misstep in some way. It actually is much more positive than it looks. Again, I'm getting this sense that some of you have reacted to that, or maybe some other things not going according to plan because of possibly some deeper emotional things from the past or hormonal things, so even related to your physical body in that sense. But it feels like if it's emotional things from the past, it feels like your reactions are coming through because you've been working on them. It doesn't feel like unaddressed things. And that might especially speak to those of you for whom this King of Cups is a therapist, because I feel like maybe you might have been digging into some things from the past recently with a therapist or just a mentor or friend, working through them, or even within yourself. And they might not be related to some things going on right now, but because you're kind of raw from it, you're perceiving things a little bit differently in a little bit more of a sensitive manner. Things don't look to me to be as bad as they feel to you. But all of that seems to be happening for a reason, because the Strength card is really coming through in a powerful way, being the only major arcana here. So it feels like a little bit of a test, which is common and not always what we like to hear, but it definitely is a message that comes through often from the spirit world. So I feel that some of these trials have definitely been about that, helping you to build stamina, resiliency, so that when things like this happen in the future, they in some ways maybe don't feel as bad, or you have developed some tools and skills to manage them better. And I don't think that you've managed anything poorly. I get the sense that you're being a little bit hard on yourself. And back to this Three of Wands in the center, I really feel that things are moving along nicely and building in more the way that you wanted them to than you think. So I would encourage you to kind of take a step back and maybe even do something like make a list of how you thought things were going to work out up until this point. It feels like there's been planning going on some level. So I don't know if it's a project that a lot of you are working on, or sorry for the noise, building up a family, doing something with your home, or working to make something grow in some way. It's some kind of undertaking that's definitely been happening for a lot of you. It feels like over the course of a few months. So I was going to say, maybe make a list, if this applies to you, maybe make a list of how much you thought was going to happen by this point, what you thought was going to be developed up until this point, and then compare that to what has happened. And I don't think there'll be as much of a discrepancy as you think. For some of you, this might not be things that you can actually write down. Again, it might be like work that you're doing within yourself. But there may be some way to draw a comparison. The Six of Wands is really speaking to me as being a healing card for both of these fives. It's definitely about triumph, it's about crossing the finish line, and it's about victory. So I think once you can do some of what this Three of Wands is asking you to do by taking a step back, looking at how things are developing, trying to maybe take your head out of the smaller things and how it feels more literally. Meditation might help you to zoom out a little bit, to get that look on things. I think you'll see things more as this Six of Wands energy, and I think that's going to bring in some healing for you for all of this. You might want to give yourself a rest from, if it did speak to you that you've been doing a lot of emotional work, you might want to give yourself a rest from it. It might not be a break. It might not be a good time for a break. And if it's therapy, if it's actual therapy, that might be something you would talk to your therapist about. But maybe there's a way, even if it's not a good time for a break, there may be a way for you to go easier on yourself about it, or even reduce something about it in some way, even if it has to do with time. Because I think that with other things shifting. Definitely, a lot of you feel like you're going through lots of shifts, both energetically and literally in your lives. With it feels again like work, home, scheduling, family, things like that. It might not be the best time to be doing what feels like, in some ways, unrelated emotional work. It's all related, of course, but it might not be the best time to be digging as deeply as you are in some of the emotional stuff. But again, I'm not a mental health professional. It's just an intuitive message that's coming through. So again, that would be something you'd want to discuss with your loved ones and a therapist if that is something that you are dealing with right now. Okay, Virgos, I'm going to end this here. If you have any questions about this or anything else, again, feel free to email me. And the addresses are below. You might have to copy and paste them. There's also a link to a sample past life reading if that sounded like something interesting to you. Take care and have a great month of June. Thank you.